Video opens with a shot of a military base gate, a guard standing firmly at his post. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we have a story that proves you should never ever judge a book by its cover. It's a tale about respect, authority, and a moment of disbelief that unfolded right at the gates of a secure military installation. Picture this: a crisp morning, the sun just beginning to climb. A young soldier, let's call him Private Miller, is on guard duty. It's a routine day, checking IDs, waving authorized vehicles through. Miller is diligent, maybe a little overzealous. He takes his job of protecting the base very seriously. He's been trained to be vigilant, to question everything, and to let no one pass without proper authorization. It's a heavy responsibility, and he feels the weight of it on his shoulders. Just then, a modest, unassuming sedan pulls up to the gate. It's not a fancy car, no flashy insignia, nothing to suggest the occupant is anyone of particular importance. Behind the wheel is a woman. She looks calm, composed, perhaps in her late 40s or early 50s. She rolls down her window, a polite smile on her face. Miller, following protocol, walks up to the car. "Good morning, ma'am. ID, please," he says, his voice firm and official. The woman nods and begins to look through her purse. "Of course, one moment," she replies. She seems to be having a little trouble finding it. She checks one pocket, then another. Miller's patience starts to wear thin. He's got a line forming behind her, and in his mind, everyone should have their ID ready. It's the first rule of entering a military base. "Ma'am, I need to see your ID now," he says, his tone a little sharper this time. She looks up from her purse, her smile slightly faded. "I apologize, young man. I seem to have misplaced my wallet. It must be in my other bag. But I assure you, I have full clearance to be on this base." Miller scoffs internally. He's heard it all before. "Everyone has clearance, ma'am," he says, a hint of sarcasm in his voice. "No ID, no entry. It's that simple. I'm going to have to ask you to turn your vehicle around and exit the line." The woman's expression turns serious. "Son," she says, her voice now carrying a newfound authority that catches Miller off guard. "I am General Miller's mother. I am here for the promotion ceremony for my other son, Colonel Miller. I need to get on this base." Private Miller freezes. Did she just say General Miller, the base commander, and Colonel Miller, his own commanding officer? This had to be a joke, right? A trick. He'd been warned about people trying to use names to get access. He smirks. "Nice try, ma'am. I've heard that one before, too. Now, please, turn the car around before I have to call my supervisor." He was convinced she was lying. The general's mother, in this old car, dressed so simply, it just didn't add up in his head. The woman sighs, a look of disappointment on her face. She wasn't angry, more weary. "All right, son, if you insist. Please call your supervisor. In fact, please call the base commander's office directly. Tell them his mother is waiting at the main gate." Miller, now slightly unnerved by her persistence but still convinced of his righteousness, gets on his radio. He feels a smug sense of satisfaction, thinking he's about to expose a fraud. He radios in, reporting a civilian at the gate claiming to be the general's mother, refusing to leave and requesting to speak with the command office. He expected his supervisor to laugh and tell him to send her away. The response he got was not what he expected. There was a moment of stunned silence on the other end of the radio. Then, a frantic voice crackled back. "Private, what did you say? Did you say General Miller's mother? Stay right there. Do not let her leave. We are on our way." Suddenly, Miller's smug confidence evaporated, replaced by a cold, creeping dread. What if, what if she was telling the truth? The blood drained from his face. He looked back at the woman, who was now just sitting patiently in her car, watching him. Within what felt like seconds, but was probably a few minutes, the scene at the main gate transformed. First, one black official-looking SUV came screeching to a halt. Then another, and another. Doors flew open, and out stepped not one, not two, but 5 high-ranking officers. At the lead was none other than the base commander himself, a 2-star general, followed by 4 other decorated colonels and generals. They weren't just walking. They were practically running towards the gate. Private Miller felt his legs turn to jelly. The base commander, General Miller, ran right past him, ignoring him completely, and straight to the driver's side door of the sedan. "Mom," he exclaimed, his voice filled with a mix of relief and panic. "I am so sorry. We were waiting for you inside. What happened?" The woman, his mother, simply smiled. "Oh, nothing, dear. This young man was just doing his job very thoroughly." She said it without a trace of malice, but every word felt like a hammer blow to the young private. The other 4 generals gathered around, all greeting her with the utmost respect. "Ma'am, it's an honor to see you again. So sorry for the delay, ma'am." They were treating her like royalty. Private Miller stood frozen, his hands still on his radio, feeling about 2 inches tall. He had just blocked, disrespected, and almost turned away the mother of the highest-ranking officer on base, in front of a gallery of other top brass. General Miller finally turned his attention to the terrified young private. His face was stern, but his eyes held a surprising lack of anger. He walked over slowly. Miller braced himself, expecting the worst verbal lashing of his life, maybe even the end of his career. "Private," the general began, his voice low and calm. "What is your name?" "Miller, sir." "Private Miller," he stammered out. The general looked at his mother, then back at the private. A small, almost imperceptible smile played on his lips. "Private Miller," he said, "you were told to check all IDs. You were told to let no one pass without authorization, no matter who they claimed to be. You were faced with a difficult situation, and you stuck to your training. You didn't bend the rules, not even when I was name-dropped." He paused, letting the words sink in. "You did exactly what you were supposed to do. You showed integrity." The general then turned to his mother. "Mom, this young man was ensuring the safety of every single person on this base, including your son. He did a good job." The woman looked at Private Miller, and her warm smile returned. "Yes, he did," she agreed. "A very good job." Private Miller was in a state of shock. He had expected to be reprimanded, but instead, he was being commended by a general. The relief was overwhelming. The general then escorted his mother to his own vehicle, and the entire procession of high-ranking officers drove onto the base, leaving Private Miller alone at his post, his mind reeling from the past 10 minutes. This story is a powerful reminder. It teaches us about doing our duty with integrity, but it also shows that authority and importance don't always come in flashy packages. That quiet, unassuming woman in the simple sedan held more influence than anyone at that gate could have imagined. And the young private, through his rigid adherence to the rules, inadvertently earned the respect of the very people he was trying to keep out. It's a lesson in humility, respect, and the surprising ways life can test us. Thank you so much for watching today. What do you think Private Miller was feeling in that moment? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content just like this. We'll see you in the next video.